Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Courage isn't having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have strength. Show me a family of readers, and I will show you the people who move the world. In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. He who cannot look over a battlefield with a dry eye causes the death of many men uselessly. Imagination governs the world. Take time to deliberate, but when the time for action comes, stop thinking and go in. Nothing is more difficult, and therefore more precious, than to be able to decide. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. History is written by the winners. If I had to choose a religion, the sun as the universal giver of life would be my God. A leader is a dealer in hope. The only victories which leave no regret are those which are gained over ignorance. Conquests will come and go, but Delambre's work will endure. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Death is nothing, but to live defeated and inglorious is to die daily. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. There are but two powers in the world, the sword and the mind. In the long run, the sword is always beaten by the mind. He who fears being conquered is sure of defeat. The reason most people fail instead of succeed is they trade what they want most for what they want at the moment. 10 people who speak make more noise than 10,000 who are silent. It is the cause, not the death, that makes the martyr. Men are more easily governed through their vices than through their virtues. Circumstances, what are circumstances? I make circumstances. Ability is of little account without opportunity. Throw off your worries when you throw off your clothes at night. Victory belongs to the most persevering. 4 hostile newspapers are more to be feared than 1,000 bayonets. History is the version of past events that people have decided to agree upon. The hand that gives is among the hand that takes. Money has no fatherland. Financiers are without patriotism and without decency. Their sole object is gain. The surest way to remain poor is to be honest. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. A true man hates no one. To understand the man, you have to know what was happening in the world when he was 20. The greatest danger occurs at the moment of victory. Courage is like love. It must have hope for nourishment. If we could read the past histories of all our enemies, we would disregard all hostility for them. It's the unconquerable soul of man, and not the nature of the weapon he uses, that ensures victory. A throne is only a bench covered with velvet. The only victory over love is flight. In our time, no one has the conception of what is great. It is up to me to show them. Great ambition is the passion of a great character. Those endowed with it may perform very good or bad acts. All depends on the principles which direct them. It requires more courage to suffer than to die. I am surrounded by priests who repeat incessantly that their kingdom is not of this world, and yet they lay hands on everything they can get. We must laugh at man to avoid crying for him. If you wish to be a success in the world, promise everything, deliver nothing. The battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemy's. I start out by believing the worst. There is a joy in danger. Success is the most convincing talker in the world. Impossible is the word found only in a fool's dictionary. Wise people create opportunities for themselves and make everything possible. A revolution is an idea taken up by bayonets. An army marches on its stomach. Give me enough medals and I'll win you any war. Courage cannot be counterfeited. It is one virtue that escapes hypocrisy. I know he's a good general, but is he lucky? Nothing is lost as long as courage remains. Let France have good mothers, and she will have good sons. War is the business of barbarians. What is the government? Nothing, unless supported by opinion. If the art of war were nothing but the art of avoiding risks, glory would become the prey of mediocre minds. Oh, I have made all the calculations. Fate will do the rest. When you have an enemy in your power, deprive him of the means of ever injuring you. Ordinarily, men exercise their memory much more than their judgment. The herd seek out the great, not for their sake but for their influence, and the great welcome them out of vanity or need. There are so many laws that no one is safe from hanging. Power is my mistress. I have worked too hard at her conquest to allow anyone to take her away from me. I make my battle plans from the spirit of my sleeping soldiers. The laws of circumstance are abolished by new circumstances. It is only by prudence, wisdom, and dexterity that great ends are attained and obstacles overcome. Without these qualities, nothing succeeds. Never depend on the multitude, full of instability and whims. Always take precautions against it. The fool has one great advantage over a man of sense. He is always satisfied with himself. Variety made the revolution. Liberty was just a pretext. We frustrate many designs against us by pretending not to see them. Orders and decorations are necessary in order to dazzle the people. One is more certain to influence men, to produce more effect on them, by absurdities than by sensible ideas. If they want peace, nations should avoid the pinpricks that precede cannon shots. Morality has nothing to do with such a man as I am. A general must be a charlatan. There is no place in a fanatic's head where reason can enter. Greatness is nothing unless it be lasting. A great reserve and severity of manners are necessary for the command of those who are older than ourselves. Audacity succeeds as often as it fails. In life it has an even chance. I hope before long to press you in my arms and shall shower on you 1,000,000 burning kisses as under the equator. Men of great ambition have sought happiness and have found fame. You can ask me for anything you liked except time. The greater the man, the less is he opinionative. He depends upon events and circumstances. Napoleon Bonaparte was a French military and political leader who rose to prominence in the late 18th century. After leading successful military campaigns, he seized power in France in 1799 in a coup d'état. He then became First Consul and later declared himself Emperor of the French in 1804. Napoleon implemented numerous reforms in France, including the Napoleonic Code, which modernized the country's legal system. He conquered and reorganized much of Europe, establishing the French Empire and becoming one of history's most renowned military strategists. However, his ambitions ultimately led to wars of conquest and resistance across the continent, which ended in his defeat and exile in 1815. Despite his controversial legacy, Napoleon's impact on European history and his strategic brilliance continue to be subjects of study and debate.